Hey everybody, it's James Judge. I'm running for Congress in Florida's 15th Congressional District, but some of you are curious about who to vote for on Election Day, which is coming up this Tuesday, August 20th, and I'm going to run through Hillsborough, Polk, and Pasco quickly. This is something most candidates aren't going to do. They're not going to pick a side in these races because that immediately creates enemies, and I'm sorry, I'm not your typical candidate. I really believe in trying to better our system, better our local government. The local down ballot issues are what are going to affect you most of your days. Most of the days of the week, it's the local issues. When they did curfews and masking and all this stuff, it was at the county level. It wasn't Congress that was doing that. So listen to this if you're interested. We'll go through Hillsborough, Polk, and Pasco. I'm going to try to fly through them, and there's a couple of them I may give you my opinion on. There are a couple of tough choices in this, but just stay tuned. And if you want to get out your voter guide or your ballot, your sample ballots, this is a great time to take some notes, and I'll walk through these, okay? For Senator, Rick Scott's the only choice on the ticket. I don't know Columbus, and Keith Gross is a former Democrat who's a member of the LGBTQ community. He's out for me. If you're looking at congressional reps in 14 or 16, clearly in 15 you're going to vote for me, I hope. And I've given you plenty of reasons. I don't need to go through that whole spiel. But in 14, there's two people on this ticket that I'd actually recommend. Robert Rocky Rockford is one of them. Former Navy veteran. He's a good guy. He's a current Navy veteran. He's a former Navy captain. And he's running, I think he's probably going to win. However, Eshawn Jorder is also, he's a young guy, young small business owner. He's got a lot of fire in his belly. I like him. He's conservative. And I think that in the general election, I think Eshawn actually might have a better chance against Kathy Castor. He's well liked by the young Republicans. But Robert Rocky Rockford is probably going to win it if I had to call it out. And, either way, I think they're both good people, and I'm not trying to not choose sides. I do like both of them. Vern Buchanan versus Eddie Spear. Eddie Spear all day long. Vern Buchanan has taken thousands and thousands of special interest contributions. He needs to hang it up. He's got to be done. Eddie Spear is a good Christian man, loves the Lord. I think when you're looking at who you want in office, I would say one of the most important characteristics that you want to find in a person who's running for office is to ensure that they fear the Lord. They know that they're going to stand before God one day and give an account of their actions. And I know that Eddie's that guy. All right. Public Defender, 13th Judicial Circuit. There's two Dems on there. You got to choose one of them. And Rocky is who the folks I've been talking to within the local Republican Party. Rocky Brancato. He's the one that they're recommending. All right. This next state representative, District 67, this one's difficult for me. I like both people that are in this race. I'm just going to be brutally honest. I really like both people that are in this race as human beings. Lizette Bonanno is a retired Army colonel. Wonderful woman. She loves the Lord, and I can't recommend her enough. Rico Smith, I fully backed him and supported him. If you look it up, I made political contributions to him when he was running for county commission. I think he's a great young man. He's also he's currently in the military. He's an Air Force service member and a great guy. So either way, you're going to do well in that race. Lizette got 46% of the vote last time, and that was against Fentress Driscoll. And she's a nasty Democrat. We need to get her out. I think Lizette may have what it takes to get over that 46% hump this time. This is all about name ID. And the fact that she's already done this once and she's already gotten 46% of the vote, I'm hopeful that she can do it this time. If I had to choose between the two, I would choose Lizette. But I do love Rico, and I hope, I'm begging, please don't take offense, Rico, if you're watching this. I love you, and the District 67 folks would be lucky if either one of you wins. And if you don't want to take my word for it, look both of them up. I think you'll be impressed either way. I think they're both really good people, and that's one of the few races that I'm going to do that with. Next one, Clerk of Circuit Court. Victor Christ versus Melanie Williams. Melanie Williams all day long. Victor Christ is a career politician. We don't need career politicians in office. Board of County Commissioners, District 2. Melissa Nordbeck versus Ken Hagan. I'm going Melissa Nordbeck. Ken Hagan has been in way too long. It's time for change. Melissa Nordbeck is, she cares about the issues. She goes to every county commission meeting. She goes to all of the budget meetings. And she is a active member of society that is in these meetings as just a normal citizen, listening to what's going on, listening to the issues, expressing her voice about these things. I think we need to give her a chance to represent us in the Board of County Commissioners, District 2. District 4, Christine Miller versus Cody Powell. I'm going Cody Powell. Board of County Commissioners, District 6. It's another one of those tough races. I like Jim Davison and I like Chris Bowles. I like both of them, and I don't want to spend a ton of time on that. I think there's pros for both of them. Chris Bowles is 28-year firefighter, and Jim Davison is a former doctor. Either one, they'll do very well in that seat, and I think that, again, Hillsborough County be blessed, whichever one gets in. State Committee woman, Linda Baton versus April Schiff. Linda Baton. Precinct Committee woman 574, Kathleen Gallo, Deborah Owens, and Sydney Salato. Those are the three you want to pick. I'm going to tell you why not Myosha, because I'm going to recommend Myosha in another spot where she's running on this ticket. Precinct Committee woman 653, Elaine Marshall and Ellen Snelling. Those are the two that you want to choose. You're allowed to pick 3 in the previous one, 2 in that one. So pay attention to that fine print there. On Precinct Committee woman for 918, this is Shirley Wood is who I would recommend. County Judge Group 11, Christine Edwards. That's who you want to go with there. County Court Judge Group 21, Matt Smith. Now, you may go, well, I don't know a lot about these judges. How do I find out more information? 1, you can watch a video like this. Or 2, look them up. See if they're a member of the Federalist Society. The Federalist Society it's conservative attorneys. It started in, I think, Harvard, Yale, University of Chicago. And they were conservative law students that formed this group that was tired of the liberal bias and the liberal agenda, and it was called the Federalist Society. If you find a judge that's a member of the Federalist Society, the odds are they're going to rule in conservative ways, and that's what we want on the courts. All right, school board member, District 1, Layla Collins, Nadia Combs, and Julie Magil. I'm going to go with Layla Collins on this one. However, a lot of people have said good things about Julie, and I think that either one of those folks gets in, it's going to be good. But if I had to make a choice, I'm going to go with Layla Collins. School board member District 3, Myosha Powell is the choice there. I said we would come back to her. It's because she's running for school district, and I really hope she gets into school district. And when she does get into school district, we need her to focus on that. She won't have time to be a state committee woman, or precinct committee woman. So Myosha Powell, vote for her there. School board member District 5, Ken Gay. Ken Gay is a good Christian guy. I've met him at a lot of events, and I like what he has to say. He's a former teacher. I think he really genuinely cares about this stuff, and I would recommend that. Honorable mention would be Elvis, but those are the choices there. In District 7, this one, I can't say enough good things about Karen Bendorf. Karen Bendorf loves the Lord. I believe her husband's a pastor. And she is just an awesome woman. We were just at a pastor's prayer breakfast a couple weeks ago. And again, please vote for Karen Bendorf. You want to fix what's going on in our school system. You want to get rid of the pornography that's in the libraries and the LGBTQ Marxist literature that riddles our schools and the ideology that's promoted there. Vote for people like Karen Bendorf, Ken Gay, Layla Collins, Myosha Powell. That's how you're going to change the school board and the schools and get them back to conservative values. So please vote for those folks. That's Hillsborough County. All right, next up, we're going to fly through Polk. And then because I live in Pasco, I'm going to spend a little bit more time on Pasco. Let's go to Public Defender. Public Defender, 10th Judicial Circuit, Christopher DeRochers. That's who I'm recommending. State Representative, District 48, Amy Lee Marie Stuckey. That's my recommendation there. State Representative, District 49, Heather MacArthur. Property Appraiser, Neil Combie. County Commission, District 1. This is a toss-up between 2 candidates. I like 2 of them. Jennifer Price or Becky Troutman, either one. County Commissioner, District 5, Mike Scott. State Committeeman, Ed Shoemaker. Catherine Cat Gates Skipper for State Committee Woman. Circuit Judge, 10th Judicial Circuit, Catherine Combie. And School Board District 1, William Allen. School Board District 2, Travis Keys. School Board District 4, Rebecca Ricks. Those are my picks there for Polk County. Highly recommend all those folks. All right, Pasco, let's get to it. Pasco County. And some of you may wonder why I'm going to make these choices. And I got to be honest with you, I'm pretty tired of the establishment. I'm pretty tired of the way that GOP politics works. I'm tired of the way all politics work. But even more so, I'll tell you this, I'm really getting disgusted with the Republican Party. I'm a lifelong Republican. I personally am a member of the Republican Party because of the values of the platform and the Christian values that it has subscribed to, being pro-life, being conservative, although I'm not sure what the GOP has conserved over the last 50, 60 years. Our country's been sliding in the wrong direction. I don't like that we just softened the stance on our national party platform on marriage. I don't like that we softened the stance on abortion, but that's happened. But I'll tell you this, the Democrats will tell you that they want to destroy our country. And there's a lot of Republicans that will lie to you and tell you whatever you want to hear so they can get into office. And then as soon as they get in there, they go and vote right alongside those Democrats. So I have a problem with that. And when I'm making my choices here, if I offend anybody, again, I don't really care, but on top of it, I am sorry. It's not because, I've either not chosen them because they're a member of the establishment, or two, I'd like to see somebody new in there. So let's go down the list. Again, I chose Rick Scott. I think I went over that. Rick Scott because he could become the Senate Majority Leader. He is a good person. I know him. I'll actually see him tomorrow. And I think that Rick has done a good job. Keith Gross is a member of the LGBTQ community, and he also is a former Democrat. And those are just two disqualifiers for me there. All right, Representative 15, yours truly. Superintendent of Schools. John Legg versus Michelle Mandarin. I'm going with Michelle Mandarin. Michelle Mandarin is a concerned mom, and I think that a concerned mom is going to do better in that position than John Legg. No offense to him, he's probably going to win. He's got way more money behind him. He owns some charter schools, from what I understand. But I like Michelle. I think that a concerned mom getting in there and representing the parents of Pasco County would be a good thing. And I'm going with Michelle. For County 4 Commissioner, County Commissioner District 4, your choices are Christina Fitzpatrick, Gabriel Papadopoulos, or Lisa Yeager. I'm going with Gabriel Papadopoulos. Gabe is a pastor. He is a great guy. Can't recommend him enough. So Gabe is the choice there. County Commissioner, District 5, I'm going with Gina. Gina Finocchiaro, I think is how you say it. Again, this is no offense to Jack Mariano, but he's been in there. He's tied in with the developers. I believe there's an FBI investigation into what happened with some of the development stuff going on there. Look, he's had his chance. He's served the community. Thank you for your service. Time to move on. Let's get some new blood in there. State committee man. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm choosing, and David Wallace has been a great guy. I know him personally, and he's helped my campaign out. I know he's conservative. He's the president of the Republican Liberty Caucus of Pasco County. But when you see mailers like this being sent out attacking a conservative, you should wonder who is putting these out. You should wonder, why are they putting mailers out like this? What's going on here? It's an unpaid position. That's what's crazy about it. And you look at who's doing this, Sunshine State Rising, and I'm pretty sure Sunshine State Rising is run by William Stafford Jones, which is just disgusting because, let me see William Stafford Jones. Here's the problem with that. William Stafford Jones is the head of the GOP Rules Committee. I'm going to vent for a second, but William Stafford Jones is disgusting. The guy has like 80 plus PACs, and he shouldn't be anywhere near the GOP or our Rules Committee. And not only does he chair all these different political action committees, half of them are not, maybe not half of them, that might be an exaggeration, but at least a dozen of them are affiliated with Democrats. And he has actively funded Democrats to beat Republicans. And I think that a guy like that, he's just what's wrong with politics all the way around. From what I understand, again, David won't say this. David has not said a bad word about his opponents. But if I had to put something behind it, I would bet that Sean Foster, who's a lobbyist, who's also running in that spot, is tied in with William Stafford Jones. And I would wager that those folks work together to make sure that mailers like this went out attacking Wallace, calling him an out-of-state liberal, his liberal policies. He's not a liberal, okay? It's just the bottom line. He's not a liberal. He's a conservative. He's a big Second Amendment supporter. And if you care about the Second Amendment, if you care about conservative values, David Wallace is the guy I would recommend. That's for state committee, man. Sean Foster doesn't deserve to be anywhere near this, if you ask me. He's super plugged into the establishment. He worked for Bill Arrakis. I just get disgusted when I see people that they've spent their entire life in politics, and it's time to move on. But he's a lobbyist, and he can't do that because literally it's what his income is politics. So if you want a conflict of interest and you want to have a state committee man, re-electing a state committee man, vote for Sean Foster, but I would recommend highly against that. I would say vote for David Wallace instead. David Wallace is a stand-up guy, and I think he will serve the residents of Pasco well. For state committee woman, Rebecca Yingling all day. Rebecca's a great person. She's helped my campaign, and I would recommend Rebecca Yingling. And she's got a great last name. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that brand. Circuit Judge, 6th Judicial Circuit, Group 9. I would say Kate Spurlock. Kate Spurlock is a member at Idlewild Baptist Church, where my wife and I are members, and would love to see Kate in there as Circuit Judge. So please vote for Kate Spurlock. This next one, 6th Judicial Circuit, Group 14. I messed up. I made an earlier recommendation on a group chat, and I'm going to tell you why. Originally, I had picked Nick Fiorentino as my choice. And that's what happens if you don't research this enough, if you just glance at things. He's endorsed by every sheriff, he's endorsed by law enforcement, he's endorsed by all that stuff. But upon further review, some people found out that he has made contributions to Kamala Harris. He's made contributions to Mayor Pete. And I can't support that. At least that's according to the FEC's reports. If he didn't, then I apologize. But when I went back to what I was talking about earlier, if I go back to that, about voting for members of the Federalist Society, voting for judges that are aligned with conservative values. Jen Dubeld, if that's how you say it, or Doubled. Jen is the one I'm picking. So I'm going to vote for Jen. I'm in Pasco here, so that's who has earned my vote. And last, but certainly not least, the most important race I think in the Pasco district besides my own is this school board District 4 seat. And there is only one choice. It's crystal clear, and it has to be Allison Crumbly. And I know I'm going to probably take some heat for that because she is establishment. But here's the bottom line with Allison versus Jessica Wright. Jessica Jakuska Wright, if you look her up, she is a radical leftist. Not even close. Like she is she's posted Facebook posts supporting AOC. She is the former president of the Democrat caucus for Pasco County. She is an activist, and she is not just an activist, she's a hardcore left-wing activist. If you look her up in the voter software that we have when we run a campaign and we look and see how you identify a voter, she is flagged as a strong Dem. You can either be strong GOP, strong Dem. She's a strong Dem. So do not vote for Jessica Wright. Do not vote for Jessica Wright. Do not vote for Jessica Wright. Please don't vote for Jessica Wright. Allison Crumbly is who we need to vote for. But then also hold her accountable. Go to the school board meetings. Say that it's not acceptable to have pornography in schools. It's not acceptable to have liberal or Marxist stuff in schools where we're promoting that ideology. It's not acceptable to have this book is gay in public schools. Those things shouldn't be funded by taxpayers in public schools. Most importantly, tell your pastors to start a school and put the public schools out of business. That's what I would argue there. One I didn't talk about, but I guess I'll make a recommendation on Congress, District 12. Hank Dunlap versus Gus Bilirakis. I'm going Hank Dunlap. I've known Gus Bilirakis since 2008. He's a very nice guy. And here's the thing. Between him and his dad, they've been in office for more than 40 plus years. Gus is a career politician, and he's helped me with stuff. He's great with constituent services. But it is time to hang it up, Gus. His voting record has been atrocious until this cycle. And even then, from what I understand, he's gone back and forth on that. And when you look at the special interest contributions, of the left and the right. I think I said earlier, Congress is a 13% approval rating, and it's just not acceptable. And a lot of people have a hard time identifying that 13% approval rating with their congressman or their congresswoman. And at the end of the day, we need to change Congress. We need to change the entire thing. I would fire every single member of the Democratic Party in Congress and about 190 Republicans. There's only 435 people in Congress, but that's what I would do. I would fire as many of them as possible, and I would vote in anti-establishment people that love the Constitution, that are conservative, that want to see this country return back to foundational levels of government, back to foundational values, laws of nature, nature's God stuff, that we agree that, there is a God. We believe that we're created equal. We believe that all men are created equal by their Creator. They have certain rights. That among those are life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, the pursuit of property. Those are things that I think that we should all be able to agree on. So vote for those folks, not folks that have already proven that they will compromise on their values. Like my opponent, who has compromised on her values. She's just constantly voting to borrow money to give it away for free, and borrow money to give away for free to foreign countries that your kids and grandkids are going to have to pay back. And I think that that's just wrong. I think it's morally reprehensible, to be honest with you. It's not just that, it's that I don't think that she has any integrity when it comes to these matters. She's voted in line with Democrats on every single funding bill. She hasn't done anything about the border. Then she goes out there and talks about how, it's Biden inflation and Harris inflation. And don't get me wrong, Biden and Harris certainly are in charge of the executive branch right now. Not actually really sure who's running the executive branch. I don't think anybody is. But here's the problem when she says that they're to blame for the inflation. Sure, their policies are to blame for some of the inflation. But another cross-bearer of the inflation is Congress. Congress just voted to give Biden his entire budget, $1.2 trillion. Everything he wanted, he got. And they didn't get anything out of it. We didn't get our border's not secure. We had tens of millions of illegals coming across. And this administration, this Congress has just allowed it. They have the ability to control government with the power of the purse. They could stop paying federal agencies if they're not going to do their job. They could stop paying the White House. They could literally go, you know what, White House, we're not going to pay you until you do your job. We could stop paying the U.S. attorneys, the assistant U.S. attorneys. It's absurd. Anyways, those are my voter recommendations. I hope that they will help you. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out, shoot me a message. Tuesday, August 20th, this Tuesday, please vote James Judge for Congress. I love our community. I love our country. I love the Lord. And I am really hopeful that we can get things back on track. Until next time, if you need to check anything out about me, go to judgeforcongress.com. If you want to support the campaign, please go to judgeforcongress.com. We'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful, blessed day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care. God bless.